Hello and welcome to our Week 12 questionable picks. I'm your host, Brandon Schultz, and I am joined by my good buddy, Adam Emmert. Adam, you are crushing it in the pick'em game. I don't know why I'm here. I should just pick your picks. It's been a good year for you, buddy.
Hey, look, I had to make it up somewhere because on Prop Stars, I'm having by far my worst year, and it's not even close. So rather be lucky than good. Yeah.
Well, maybe you could just start, I don't know, picking football games and prop stars rather than, Seattle props.
It's funny, like watching Pete for as long as we had and doing Prop Stars for the first 2 years of his tenure. It was way easier to make predictions and bets now with Mike and this new team, and it's so variable. Like I'm dying out there.
Well, hopefully it's something that you feel like you can dial in, or we could dial into once we move on to maybe next season. Or
Yeah,
I
maybe.
think that once we'll eventually get a better feel for this team, I think, and some of the things they tend to do, and that's why maybe sticking to the Wilson, even though they may be boring, kind of the under points and the I don't know. His more general bets seem to be working. And we're talking about PNW Prop Stars. It released earlier today here on our Seahawks YouTube channel. And if you haven't caught that, go back after we're done. And it was a good time.
Yeah, it was a fun show. And he's been picking more general team oriented bets. And maybe that's the way to go rather than individuals. So let's talk about some teams around the league here, Brandon.
All right. Well, I will welcome in Dogzilla, who is joining us in chat. Welcome. And yes, why don't we get to our picks? Because, man, oh man, Thursday night football. We already selected our picks for this game. I'm guessing that you picked the Steelers, Adam.
I did.
Yeah. And it was a fun game, though. Watching the snow come down, the Browns able to pull it out in the end, but it was back and forth there at the end. It was fun.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it was going to turn into a blizzard out there. And fun to see those two teams go back and forth. Good for Jameis, I guess. Russ kind of came alive in the second half. That was fun too. But tough to pick those games. Weather games, they're all over the map. Divisional weather games.
Games.
Yeah. Good
on Thursday night.
Yeah. Yeah.
That would have been a good one to go for a risk pick, considering the slate of games that we have this week. There are a lot of very lopsided games, and we're kicking things off with the Chiefs at the Panthers, maybe the most lopsided of all. Only 1% going with the hometown Carolina Panthers, Adam.
Yeah, and that's somebody who lost their Thursday night bet on a random result and was like, well, screw it. I'm going to go with the Panthers here. Yeah, Chiefs all the way. The defense is going to make Bryce Young's life hell. So
maybe they were confused that if they pick here, they actually get the points of 11. And even still, I'm not sure if I would take the Panthers plus 11.
Yeah, that's a big line, though. It's a big line.
It's a big one. All right. Vikings at Bears. Here's a fun divisional matchup for the hometown Bears going up against the Vikings, who they've kind of had I feel like they've played some teams close. They're still 8-2, though. Bears down in the cellar at 4-6, but only 3.5 point favorites for the Vikings on the road.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. I do like the Bears defense quite a bit, and Sam Darnold just cooled off a little bit, as has the Vikings as a whole. And then getting rid of Waldron and bringing in Thomas Brown, Bryce Young's offensive coordinator from last year, made things look a little bit better on offense. And I think that they're going to have a little bit better game here. Again, weird divisional game. Bears are at home, and you got to go with the risk pick at some point. And so I'm going to go Bears here.
Oh, no.
Is that what you did?
This was going to be my risk pick.
Oh, well, you can have it. I'd take Vikings. I'll take a different one.
I can pick another one, too. I just don't want to have the same one as you while I'm behind.
You already had it in your mind. Like, you clearly thought about it before I did, and so I will honor and respect that.
Oh, well, that's awfully nice of you.
Yeah. I mean, I'm crushing you anyways. What difference does it make? So it's easy to be magnanimous when you're kicking ass, you know?
Sure, I suppose. And the Vikings will probably win anyway, and then you'll gain another point on me. And then you'll just turn in, find a greater lead. And I don't know, maybe your other risk pick hits.
Maybe.
This seems to be what you do.
Okay. Yeah.
All right. Titans
Who?
at
I'm hooing an entire team.
it's a good team to who?
Yeah, just I don't care. And yeah, Texans all the way there.
No, I don't think there's any. I mean, the fact that they're at 2%, that's impressive.
Sure.
That's the nicest thing you can say about the Titans.
Yeah.
Lions at Colts. This one's interesting with the just by the fact that Anthony Richardson, he had a pretty decent game last week going up against the Lions. 7.5-point favorites on the road for the Lions. That makes sense too. But this is a game where plus 7.5 would feel a little bit enticing, I think, even though the Lions, they have that ability to just blow teams out, as we saw last week.
Yeah, they've been stealing people's souls in their victories, and it's impressive. Probably the best team in football. But even when you're the best team in football, like occasionally you have games that you overlook, like a non-conference, non-divisional opponent with a quarterback that had a nice second half for a change last week. This could be a trap game for the Lions. It really does feel that way. I'm picking the Lions.
See, you had me going there. I thought this was going to be your risk pick, but turns out not so much. Yep. Also going with the Lions. They're just a hard team to ever pick against. And I don't know if I see myself, if you were to look at their schedule, I don't know if there's a team going up against them other than the Seahawks where I would feel compelled to pick them against the Lions.
Yeah, for whatever reason, Seattle matches up well against Detroit. I don't know exactly what that is, but they really do.
Let's play them again. That would be fun.
Yeah. Hey, let's do it in the NFC Championship game. Let's go.
All right. Patriots 3-8 going up against the Dolphins. This may be the worst two teams playing each other this week. We'll see going forward, but Dolphins at home, heavily favored, 93%. What do you think here? Is this where you go with your risk pick just to fulfill kind of your rooting interest in this one?
Oh man, there's a lot of things that are trying to draw me into picking the Patriots here. Look, at the end of the day, Tua's been better since he's been back, and the Dolphins have looked better as a whole. And some people picking them as a sneaky playoff team and all of that. I think they're dead in the water. No, thank you. I'm out on the Dolphins. And the Patriots have been playing people tough. Drake May has been looking pretty good, kind of justifying his number 3 ranking in my rookie quarterback list there. And I think the Patriots are a tough team. A lot of people bang on Mayo, but he's got them playing hard. The defense has been decent. And I think they're a better team with Drake May back there, even with their lack of weapons. You got to go with a risk pick at some point. And since I gave up my first one, I'm going to go Patriots here.
All right. I am going Dolphins here. It's like Carly said, it's a very difficult week for risk picks. This one's not so bad though. Again, a divisional matchup. I like the divisional matchup where the home, where you're picking the home team, but this one works too because the Patriots, they in the past they tend to play well with the Mayo team now coaching. Who knows? But like you said, they are playing teams tough. And it's just they're talent deficient, but
yeah,
we'll see going forward. All right.
Yeah, historically, Patriots have been good in Miami.
Buccaneers at the Giants. The Giants. Daniel Jones out.
Yeah.
And the Bucks. The Bucks are only 4-6. They've had a bit of a rough schedule this year.
They've had a rough schedule, some rough injury luck. They've played everybody. They've played tough. It's not like they're getting blowed out anywhere. That's why I guess they're laying 6 points here. That makes a lot of
favorites
sense.
On the road.
I have a very serious question for you, Brandon. So has Drew Lock like pissed off Roger Goodell or like all the owners combined? Like what has Drew Lock done that has made it so that nobody will give him his shot a la Geno Smith? Because it sounds like they're running DeVito out there.
Yeah.
And I heard just a snippet from Drew. And they asked him, well, I mean, does this kind of feel like it's tanking? And Drew's kind of like runs his fingers through his hair. He's like, yeah, just, I don't know.
Well, if you do remember, Drew Lock's agent may not have done him a favor, as it turns out, when they got him he has some escalators within his contract for playing time. And
Oh,
so if he were to come in and finish out the season, he probably hits those escalators and gets more money because of it.
what a cheap ass team. First, they won't pay Saquon. It's for some reason decide to pay Daniel Jones. Like that still will never make any sense to me in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so Carly's saying he's not going to pay him if he's starting. Okay, well, yeah, how dare he want to get paid for doing work? That's a crazy philosophy there. I'm really disappointed he's not getting his shot here. The Giants have more money than just about any other team except for the Cowboys would be my guess, being the premier New York team. This reeks.
This is likely an ownership call, especially with the money aspect of it, the tanking aspect to it. I think that the Giants are they're trying to contend for that number 1 overall pick.
I feel like this is Mara punishing Joe Shane for the whole Saquon conversation in Hard Knocks. And he's just like, oh yeah, you know how you signed a competent backup? No, you don't even get to play him and try to save your job. You're done. We're going with Tommy Cutlets here. So Buccaneers, obviously.
Yeah, obviously.
But
yeah, also got the Bucks here. But yeah, just an interesting conversation, interesting game. I did see Marlon saying in the chat that Mike Evans is back, so that'll be nice for them. And the fun thing here too, looking at this as a person who might be wanting to bet on this game, 0-5 the Giants are even against the spread. So even a healthy spread at home, it makes you wonder that if they aren't going to get blown out by the Bucks in this game.
Yeah, Baker's having himself a nice year. You got to give him a lot of credit there. Ooh, the Daniel Bowl.
Yeah,
because I mean, they released Daniel Jones, which is just mind-boggling. First, they had him playing like scout team safety,
right?
And then he got pissed. So it was like, yeah, nah. And so they release him outright. And the hot rumor, obviously, is that Jerry Jones is going to go all in on Daniel Jones here to compete with Jaden Daniels. So
that's the rumor. It would be fun though, not just for this Cowboys Commanders game, but it would be even more fun for the Giants Cowboys game that's on Thanksgiving.
That would be fun. It'd be the only thing that would make that a compelling watch. And hey, I keep forgetting that it's Saturday night, so probably no Daniel Jones in this game.
Probably not gonna get signed and get started. But
yeah.
Think about.
Jaden, he's fallen off a little bit. The Kingsbury stuff has fallen off a little bit, but I do like the Commanders here. The Cowboys are probably the biggest dumpster fire in the whole NFL.
They are looking that way. I mean, look at that. 31st in rushing yards. They can't run the ball for anything. They can't stop the run on defense. They can't score, or they allow more points than just about any defense in the league. So Cowboys definitely struggling. And I think part of the thing too, I don't know if I'm willing to say that it's Cliff Kingsbury and the offense. They've gone up against a couple of tough defenses the Commanders have these last few weeks. So I think that has a little something to do with it too.
That the ribs potentially. I'm not ready to say that Cliff hasn't changed, but there's a track record that we can look at in his past, and you can start connecting dots. But if they do drop this one to the Cowboys here, then I might be all over the Kingsbury thing. Like, this is getting out of control.
that would be bad.
Yeah.
One game that the Broncos can't drop. It is a matchup with the Las Vegas Raiders, and they're at 96%. They're a 6-point favorite going on the road against a division rival. But as we've talked about, rivalry games is this one where we question this particular rivalry. I think with the defense, with the way Bo Nix is playing, he's making a charge. A lot of people starting to talk about Bo Nix potentially overtaking Jaden Daniels as offensive rookie of the year. And it's with the way things are going in terms of trends, I could see it happening. I am going Broncos over Raiders.
Okay. Well, this is a tricky one only because I think the Broncos last year finally beat the Raiders for like the first time in forever. Josh McDaniels had even gotten the Broncos a couple times as the Raiders head coach. These division games are bizarre. Broncos coming off a huge game last week where like you said, Bo looked the part, no doubt about it. My number 2 ranked quarterback in this year's rookie class, Jaden Daniels being number 1. And it's not surprising to me to see these two go toe to toe going down the stretch for offensive rookie of the year. I think Sean Payton's done a masterful job of really getting to Bo's strengths and now slowly opening it up so he can push the ball down the field, which he has ample ability to do. It's been a joy to watch. Like, give Sean Payton a lot of credit there. You'd think that he doesn't have a lot going on upstairs because he would lose all his brains through his half a hat that he always wears. But no, he's managed to keep him and doing a nice job there in Denver. That defense is going to just smother the shit out of the poor hapless Raiders. Man, what a brutal. Are they the bigger dumpster fire than the Cowboys? I don't think so. Cowboys have more talent and are terrible. The Raiders just don't have anything going on.
Offensively, the Raiders don't have much talent. And at least you can say there's something about the Raiders defense that they're, able to keep their team within games. In fact, you can see they have the edge for total yards, passing yards, rushing yards when you look and compare the offense versus the defensive rankings. I still don't think that mediocre defense with the offense, they're just not going to be able to score enough points.
Yeah. And if you're a Raiders fan, well, first re-examine your life, but then after you're done doing that, like, how much dismay must you have when you look around the AFC West and you've got Andy Reid, Jim Harbaugh, Sean Payton, and Antonio Pierce? Like, that would be so depressing to think about. Like, you're going to be in a world of hurt for the next decade, especially since your owner, who cuts his own hair with a bull, probably isn't going to bring in any real coaching talent here.
I guess if you're a Raiders fan, you could go talk to Cardinals fans and ask them what it's been like having their coach of, the rotating coach over the past however many years in the NFC West.
Yeah. We'll get to Cardinals fans here in a minute.
All right. 49ers at Packers going on the road. The line has shifted. The Packers were 2.5-point favorites. Brock Purdy going to be out with a shoulder injury. Nick Bosa going to be out. And now the Packers are 5.5-point favorites.
I had not heard that Purdy was out. Last I had heard, he had hurt his shoulder, but they thought he would be just fine. But I'm not going to take, or I am going to take a ton of delight in the fact that the Seahawks ended this era of, not their season, this era of 49ers football last week. And yeah, no Purdy, no Bosa. Yeah, man.
Ward's still out.
Yeah. Who is their backup? Is it the Pastronaut?
It is Brandon Allen.
Okay. That was one of those dudes in the draft when he came out from Arkansas that I was like, yeah, he could go in and like maybe win you a game or two here or there, but it ain't going to happen this week. Not in Lambeau. Not with that team.
No, it's tough for the Niners that they are going up against a team like the Packers with those guys both injured. Were they playing, I don't know, a team like the Cardinals, maybe they'd still be in it.
Maybe.
Cardinals 6-4. Look at this, Adam. 50-50 split with CBS Sports Pick'em users. It is the coin flip game of the week, maybe even the season. We've got Dogzilla Monster in the chat saying, my upset call, Hawks somehow slow down that running attack and beat the Cards. I don't know if you can call that an upset, Dogzilla Monster.
Yeah, no, especially on this channel. But at the end of the day, we're getting a point. Okay.
We are +1 at home.
So that's basically Cardinals by 2 with the 3-point
neutral field.
Home field advantage there. This is maybe the most compelling game of the entire slate this week, and not just because we're giant Seahawks homers, but you see it in the rankings there, 50-50. Mm-hmm. It's been really fun listening to all 10 of the Arizona Cardinals fans like come out of their mom's basement and run their mouths this week. That's been really interesting, man. Their confidence is way too high. And look, that's fine. They can have it because we're going to steal that away from them here in this game. I really do believe the defense is going to step up and control James Conner. You can do that and make Kyler Murray and that offense one-dimensional. And I think that Gino's going to be able to put up enough points to bring them over the top here.
You would think, by the way Cardinals fans talk, that they have like one of the best offensive teams in the league. But as you can see here, 12th ranked offense, passing yards 28th. Even with Marvin Harrison Jr. Not able to put up a ton of passing yards, but I suppose it's offset when you're 5th in the league in rushing yards and you can just lean on James Conner.
Look, it's hard to rack up receiving yards when all you're doing is running 5-yard outs for Kyler Murray. D-Hop got awful sick of it. I imagine that Harrison's going to get sick of it too. Hasn't had the impact, I think, in the league that a lot of people thought that he would coming out of the draft. And then their defense too, like people start talking about that as if, they're a new red wave of some kind or something like that. And then you start kind of digging into it and you're like, yeah, they haven't been putrid, but they're not necessarily good.
Right. Yeah, they play real hard.
Absolutely. And you can't take that away from them, no doubt about it. But I think the Seahawks are going to change their home woes here and win this battle for first place in the NFC West.
Yeah, and look at this. Just in terms of points, both teams, you got the Cardinals who are scoring about 24 points a game. Seahawks defense giving up about 24 points a game. And then Cardinals defense giving up 22. Seahawks offense scoring 23. Very even matchup in those aspects. And this is the one I think is the biggest disparity. The first in passing offense for the Seahawks, 21st in passing defense, and giving up a lot of yards too. But this is where I expect the Seahawks to lean on their strength of the season so far this year.
Yeah. Wait a second. Oh, I heard that Colt McCoy might be coming back to play this.
Oh,
game.
no.
Does that change your
pick?
Does that change your pick at all?
That could be the one thing that might make me change my pick.
I did see Colt McCoy had a Cardinals Seahawks preview on his little channel, and I refused to watch it because I was like, nope, I've had
staying away from Colt McCoy
in my life. Yeah, and I love Colt McCoy. It just against us, it was just maddening that we'd lose to him almost every time.
It's hard not to like Colt McCoy, even though he was a dirty Cardinal and he was also a dirty. What's that Texas team? Yeah, that one.
He was a Texan.
UT.
Oh, UT, University of Texas. Yeah, he played for the Giants too. Beat us once there. Unbelievable. Yeah.
I didn't have a big problem with him playing for the Giants though, except when he beat us.
Yeah.
All right, Sunday Night Football. The Rams are at home, and they are going up against the Eagles, who are tearing it up, Adam. 8-2. They can't be stopped in the NFC.
Saquon Barkley is single-handedly saving Nick Sirianni's job and making me look like the dumbest human on the planet this entire season. That offense isn't crap without Saquon. I know Jalen is still dealing with the ankle thing, and that's a little scary. Obviously the rushing offense has been good overall. Wow, I didn't realize their defense was ranked so highly in all the statistical categories there.
Yeah.
The
defense playing tough, the offense playing real well.
Here's the thing.
They've had such an easy schedule though.
I know.
What is their strength of schedule on here? Oh, 31st. Shocker.
There it is. There it is. I actually like the Rams in this game. I think they're going to win this football game.
Really?
But couple things here. One, I can't ever pick the motherfuck Rams. No, that goes against everything in my entire state of being. I can't do it. And secondly, every time I've picked against the Eagles, Saquon does something incredible, like a reverse hurdle or something. It makes me look real dumb. So I'm going to go with the Eagles here, even though it's against my gut.
Going against your gut, I'm also going Eagles. I don't want to be rooting for the Rams, and I'm a little bit like you too. I've picked against the Eagles here and there when they've had semi-tough matchups, and those are the games that Saquon has gone off in. So I could see him going off against this Rams defense as well. I did see, Adam, that the Madden football game actually put in the Saquon Barkley reverse leap over a player into their video game.
Oh, well, okay. I guess they couldn't even dream that up. It was so crazy.
They're like,
But
yeah, we would never program this into a game because nobody would actually do it. And then they saw Saquon do it, and they're like, okay, we can do that.
yeah, I imagine you lose a lot of Madden games trying to hit that move over and over and over
I
again.
don't know how you do it, but yeah, maybe you have to use Saquon. It's kind of like using Bo Jackson and Tecmo Bowl.
I quit playing Madden in like 06 when it got to the point to where you'd throw a pass and a dude would be 12 yards away from your receiver and they would just like skate across the screen at superhuman speeds and pick off the ball.
Yeah.
It was so maddening.
Stop it, Carly. You cannot picking the Rams as a risk pick.
I know, Carly. Carly's not wrong. Like, there's a part of me that wanted to go back, although I had already picked it, so I can't go back and get rid of the Pats here and go with the Rams. But me and Carly, we're going to do this together.
Right.
Yeah.
Amy joining us in the chat as well.
Yeah, Amy would have been disappointed if I tried to go back and change my risk pick because she was the one who held your feet to the fire a couple
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. All right. Monday Night Football, maybe the game of the week, almost definitely the game of the week. Ravens at Chargers. They're playing in LA, and it's Harbaugh v. Harbaugh. The Ravens are favored by 2.5 points.
Interesting. I like the Chargers here. I really do. Their defense is outrageously good. Jim's got them running the rock. Now they're starting to open it up with Herbert. I love the way that they're playing on a neutral field. I think they've got a more than a puncher's chance to take down the Ravens, who have had these little up and down spurts throughout the season, even though when they're on, there's no stopping them. But yeah, I like the Chargers here.
I mean, the way that they're limiting teams on defense, you can see they're first in the NFL in scoring defense, 14.5 points. It's going to keep everything close. They have a kicker who can actually make kicks now, and they're winning some of these close matchups that traditionally they've lost. Man, that's tough to go against the Chargers here. I'm going to go Ravens in part because you picked the Chargers. This was one where I was kind of on the fence on, and initially I wanted to pick Chargers, but again, just because of that defense. But Ravens coming off of a loss, maybe they need this bounce back win a little bit. It seems like the Ravens, they will play up to teams. And this could be one of those games where they come to play knowing that even though it's not a division game, this is a meaningful game. And yeah, this is going to be a fun one, I think.
I think it is going to be a fun one. And it's going to be delightful football to watch because both of the Harbaughs coach and play football the right way. And this is the type of football that I'd love to see the Seahawks get to. And it's going to be fun to watch. Are there any crazy injuries that we're not aware of here down at the bottom that I'm not taking into account?
Denzel Perryman out, Hayden Hurst out, so nothing big there. And then you got, nothing on the Ravens side either. Just a couple dudes who are questionable, like Roquan Smith, but I would expect he'd play. Bosa questionable. I feel like he's always questionable.
All the Bosas are always questionable.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, look, they're like a finely tuned race car. When they're on healthy, they're unstoppable. But when they just get nicked up a little bit, then it starts to degrade the performance a little bit.
Right. So after about 2-3 weeks in every season.
Yeah, and I think Joey's had the harder injury luck than Nick too along the way. Yeah,
sure.
But yeah, I like Chargers here, man. That's what my gut screamed it.
How many points? Now, Chargers good at limiting points. So this should be a close game, maybe relatively low scoring. I'm kind of curious what the over-under is on this.
I was going to say 52 is my guess.
Oh, okay. That would actually be the over in this game.
Oh, then I'm taking the over because I'm thinking 28-24.
All right. I'm going to go with 50 points. I'm taking the under.
Okay. Nice round number.
I like that number.
Yeah.
All right. Well, fun week of games, especially for our Seahawks, Adam. I know post-game, as of right now, not quite sure we're going to go live. I do have a family function that I have to have to go to that's actually during the Seahawks game. I may be listening in to the radio broadcast while I do that. We'll see. And if that works out, then maybe we can go live right after the game, but we'll be here.
Well,
Or you might go solo, or we'll just see. We'll see how it goes.
Let's ask everybody here in the chat, because as me, you, and Clinton were going through it, Clinton's traveling too, so he's not able to jump in right away. Would you rather us me solo go live directly after the game, or, which I think is what I would prefer, wait until Brandon's ready to rock? But either way, I'd be down to do it either way.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to watch it on the phone as my youngest daughter has a singing concert that they decided to put on a Sunday. It's not a school function, but it is really important to her. So it's one of those things where you've got to go.
You're gonna stop paying that like singing coach, right?
Oh, there's a couple things that came about because of this. There was an event that my wife and I really wanted to go to that we would have had to fly to.
Mhm.
And it was this upcoming weekend. And had this concert not been happening, we definitely would have gone, and we almost went anyway. But then we realized just how disappointed she was going to be if we didn't go. And then there's another. So I should stop paying, because a similar event is also happening in the spring, same darn weekend as the next upcoming concert. Not impressed.
No, do they not consult you at all? All right,
No.
we'll wait.
No.
Yeah.
Okay. Amy says wait.
Amy is
And probably because Adam said it like this. Well, if you really want to, I can go solo after the game by myself if you really want it.
I mean, I can do it.
Or you could wait for Brandon to get off.
Look, this is why I hate texting, is I cannot put the inflection into a text that is necessary to convey the way that I speak, and it frustrates me to no end. So yeah, I mean, you help guide decisions with inflection and things like that.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Well, I think you definitely guided that vote for Amy, and we'll see if anybody else weighs in. But I think we have kind of a line of where we're going on this.
Yeah, Brandon leaning into the dad life, no doubt about it. Hey, I'm not gonna lie, Brandon. It does not suck having your offspring be full-grown 21-year-old adults. Like, it's kind of nice. Like, Iz kind of does her own thing now. And yeah.
Well, I've got 7 more years.
You're on the back nine. You're on the back nine, buddy.
And I think with that,
there's only one thing left to say.
Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.